What's going on, YouTube? I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch this next video. The last one we talked about was the Watchtower and Tract Society's involvement with the United Nations, and this one now is about the Watchtower's involvement with Jimmy Swaggert. Now, I kind of remember Jimmy Swaggert when I was a young kid. Not too much. I really didn't pay attention to my own religion, let alone another religion. But I do remember Jimmy Swaggert when he was caught in his scandal. I think it was adultery, and he was crying on TV, and I've sinned, Lord, please forgive me. So I kind of remember all of that. But I stumbled across this as well over the internet, and I'll read a lot of this from what I gathered here. It mentioned that from the Watchtower, May 15th, 1960, the scriptures justify the war strategy of hiding true facts from the enemy. So in other words, they justified lying. As long as it protects Jehovah's Witnesses, you can lie about something, and Jehovah does not disapprove of you lying to help other Jehovah's Witnesses. And so very few Jehovah's Witnesses know the truth about the Watchtower Society and their involvement with Jimmy Swaggert's day in court. So this is from June of 1989. Jimmy Swaggert goes to court versus the United States Supreme Court. And actually the court starts in October. And just to give you a heads up on, I'm reading here what was going on. Why did the Watchtower Society change its literature distribution program in 1990, eliminating set prices for literature items? Well, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the governing body instituted a simplified or loving arrangement. Few know the change really took place because Jimmy Swaggert lost his case in court. In February 21st of 1990, letters to congregations from the society explained that this was the new policy, stated as this: adopting a method of literature distribution, Jehovah's people are able to greatly simplify our Bible education work and separate ourselves from those who commercialize religion. Now here's what actually happened. Date by date timeline. In the early 1980s, the state of California informs Jimmy Swaggert Ministries that taxes due for religious books and tapes sold in the United States since 1974. Swaggert eventually pays the tax, a total of $183,000. But he sues for a refund. So the case begins moving forward in the United States Supreme Court. In February of 1989, the U.S. Supreme Court rules it is illegal for Texas and 14 other states to exempt religious books from sales tax. Some states had already been taxing religious books all along. In the summer of 1989, Watchtower Society gives away free books released at U.S. conventions that year. Jehovah's Witnesses are instructed to place donations in contribution boxes to cover the cost. June 1989, Watchtower Society files amicus curiae, or friend of the court brief, with the United States Supreme Court in defense of the Jimmy Swaggert case. Others file similar briefs similar to the Watchtower Society, which include the National Council of Churches and the Society for Krishna Consciousness. So basically, they're helping Jimmy Swaggert try and win this court decision. A friend of the court. In January 17th, 1990, Supreme Court rules against Jimmy Swaggert, declaring that the sales tax must be paid. 3 weeks later, after this decision, February 9th, 1990, Watchtower Society writes letters to congregations announcing that literature will no longer be sold at Kingdom Hall and other assemblies and conventions, and no price will be set in the door-to-door ministry. February 25th, 2 weeks later, the February 9th letter from the Society is read at Sunday meetings of Jehovah's Witnesses across the United States. 1 week later, March 1st, the new policy of distributing literature without naming a price goes into effect. The March 15th, 1990 Watchtower and the March 22nd Awake, which had been printed prior to these things, still say 25 cents a U.S. copy, or $5 US dollars per year. This goes into effect April 1st, 1990. The Watchtower no longer carries a price on its cover. And then March 11th, 1990, the announcement is made at Kingdom Halls in the United States that food will be available at no cost on a free will donation basis at Jehovah's Witnesses conventions and assemblies. So basically, they helped Jimmy Swaggert to avoid paying taxes, so that way they wouldn't have to pay taxes, because they were doing the same thing as Jimmy Swaggert does. He was basically commercializing his ministry. So I know many Jehovah's Witnesses are going to refuse to believe that the Watchtower actually filed a legal brief in Jimmy Swaggert's case, but it's proven. The court documents are there. And so really, Jehovah's Witnesses, you got to wake up and open your eyes to this business. The evil empire of the Witchtower is only about money. The donation arrangement wasn't some new light or new loving arrangement that the governing body suddenly thought, hey, you know what, we should let the friends just donate. We shouldn't ask for a set charge. Let them donate from the heart. No, it was their pocketbooks that was being affected, and so since they didn't want to pay taxes, therefore they're giving away things, and they encourage the friends to donate to cover the costs. So when I found out about the United Nations scandal, like I said, I felt like a boxer. He was like down on one knee and he's getting up and he's trying to get his bearings back up, and he stands up and the ref is counting 7, 8, 9, and the boxer's okay, I'm good. He doesn't know where he's at. Well, this Jimmy Swaggert case was the uppercut and just kind of knocked me out spiritually. Because again, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we have nothing to do with other religions. As a matter of fact, you don't accept literature from other religions. You don't even attend services to any other church or religion outside of Jehovah's Witnesses, because that is a disfellowshipping or excommunicating offense if you attend other church services that other than Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's why Jehovah's Witnesses will never accept any of your literature. If you're not one of Jehovah's Witnesses, they won't accept your invitation to attend their church, because they believe that all other religions outside of the Jehovah's Witnesses religion is considered false religion, and all other denominations of Christianity are what they call in Christendom false Christianity. And so it's just do as I say, not as I do. You know, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't donate to Salvation Army, or they don't get involved with YMCA because they have ties to other churches that are not Jehovah's Witnesses. And so you can have severe disciplinary actions taken upon you if you get involved with those organizations. But yet behind the back, they try and help good old Jimmy Swaggert win a court case to avoid paying taxes. So at this point in my life, in my spiritual life, I already knew in my heart I didn't want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses anymore. And so At this point, I basically abandoned all my beliefs that the Jehovah's Witnesses taught me. I keep the principles because those are biblically based, and you can't go wrong in the way Jesus taught us how to lead our lives. But some of the doctrines, all of the doctrines, basically, I at this point gave up believing that, and I'm starting from ground zero, so to speak. I'm laying another foundation. Hopefully this one is on solid ground and not on the sand. So the next video is going to discuss a little bit about Daniel Mannix and his involvement to the Witchtower Society. So I appreciate your time watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.